right, so welcome everyone to our webinar on marketing essentials for your business. I'm Jenny, I'm part of the digital service squad, along with my wonderful team members, Timona and Trina. So as a digital service squad, we help small businesses in Alberta improve their online presence by providing them one-on-one support. During this presentation, you'll have lots of opportunities to ask us questions about the program by entering them into the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen, and we'll do our best to answer them throughout the presentation as well and at the end. And just before we start, we want to acknowledge that the province of Alberta is situated on the traditional territories of Treaties 4, 6, 7, 8, and 10. We recognize, honor, and respect the Indigenous peoples of Canada, their beliefs and histories, and are grateful for the historic and current stewardship of the land that we share with them and call home.
All right, well, hello everybody. My name is Trina, and you might be asking yourself, what exactly is the Digital Economy Program? So we'll go into more detail near the end of the presentation, but basically the Digital Economy Program is designed to help small businesses undergo digital transformations and adopt e-commerce practices. So there are two paths to the program. First, we have Shop Here powered by Google, which helps businesses launch e-commerce stores. And then the second stream is us, for businesses who already have a website. Sorry, excuse me a second. For those who already have a website, and just need a little bit of help with marketing, tech support, or really anything else. We cover that through the digital service squads. There are 19 regional squads across the province, and as a member of one of those squads, my role is to help elevate your online presence and to implement any digital tools that you might need for your business. We cover things like branding, SEO, email marketing, social media, really anything that helps you put your best foot forward online. We offer roughly 5 to 10 hours of free one-on-one support. And during those meetings, we build your customer-facing assets together. So we don't do any of the work for you, but we do provide you with the know-how and make sure that you're comfortable maintaining everything once our time together is over. We can also provide you with any other resources you might need, like webinars, grant information, or additional support through the Business Link team, or really anything else that you might need.
Awesome. Hi guys, my name is Timona. Thank you, Jenny and Trina, for introducing the Digital Economy Program and also doing our land acknowledgements. So what are we going to learn today? Today, you will learn how to identify your audience, how to find your brand voice, which helps you better connect with your customers, how to implement strategies and tools to improve your online presence. And you will also learn how to develop a customer journey, which will help increase your sale for your business.
All right, so let's get started with some basics then. So marketing starts long before you create your first Facebook ad. There are lots of things that you want to have in place before you start advertising to ensure that your customers have a great experience with your brand all around. That starts with how people connect with your business. So if you have a hair salon, they might be giving you a call. If you're a life coach, they might schedule a video chat. In these cases, you want to make sure that you have reliable phone lines and a solid internet connection. If their first interaction with you is via email, then we want to make sure that your email looks professional as well. A great first step is having an email that's dedicated just to business correspondence. It's great to have, and it declutters your other inboxes to ensure that important work emails aren't missed. That email address should also relate to your business. So in my case, like businesslinktrina@gmail.com, or better yet, domain specific trina@businesslink.ca. And once that's all set up, add a stylized signature that includes your logo, company position, and other contact information. These things might not be front of mind when we talk about marketing, right? But these are the building blocks that you need to have in place before you start promoting your business. We want to make sure that you're setting yourself up for a good first impression, and these things facilitate customer service. Organization is obviously a huge part of running a business as well, and there are thousands of organizational tools out there to help exactly with that. So try identifying the things that are falling through the cracks or that you want to spend less time doing. So if you're always missing meetings or you're late to meetings because your reminders are scattered around the office on sticky notes, it's time to introduce a digital calendar. If you're always drafting invoices, we can look into accounting software that can help you do that more efficiently. Or if you're spending all your time on the phone at the front desk booking appointments, we can allow your customers to book online. All of these are things that digital service squads can help you set up. So take a moment to identify those things that are taking your time and holding you back, and we can help you with that. So we talked about branding a little bit on that last slide, right? With the business email and logo and the signature, but branding is not just a logo. It's your business's personality. It's the way you answer the phone. It's the way you draft an email. It's the way you interact with your customers. For a lot of our solo entrepreneurs, it's a digital extension of you. It's who you are. And all of this can get really complicated and muddled when we think about it in a digital space, but let me break down exactly what I mean. So think about how different businesses answer the phone. If I were to call a spa resort, I would get a much different introduction than I would if I called my local mechanic, right? Both are service-based, but very different types of businesses, and they have very different personalities. So that's where it starts. Way before your logo, colors, and fonts, you need to identify who the business is, right? Who you are and what your brand is. A great way to start this process is to pick a few characteristics that you want to represent you. I've included a little bird graphic here on what the same idea can look like in different characteristics or styles. So if I'm that spa resort, right, I might be leaning towards more serious, luxury, or feminine. If I'm a local mechanic shop, I might be classic, simple, masculine. Then you use those characteristics to develop your brand identity. So that might mean hiring a graphic designer or a brand specialist to help you build it out. Or if you're artistically inclined and feel comfortable, you can DIY all that stuff, your logo, textures, patterns, fonts, colors, everything like that. So once all that work is done, make sure you have a brand guide. This might be something that's supplied to you from your graphic designer or something that you might have to put together yourself. But it's so, so, so important that once your brand colors and fonts are selected, that we keep them consistent. So all of these are free templates from an online graphic design tool called Canva. I highly recommend it for any graphic design work that you need to do by yourself. That includes social media graphics. There's thousands of templates on there for this. But through these brand guides, we can tell exactly what these different businesses are about. So let's think about those characteristics that we saw before, right? For this first one, it might be a salad bar. We have a muted color palette, non-complex logo, appeals to a broad demographic. I would say that they probably started with quiet, simple, and classic. Secondly, for this fashion blog, the color scheme is immediately on the girly side, right? We have a great big handwritten display font and some muted plaid elements in the logo, lots of pops of pink. So this reads to me as feminine, modern, and luxury. Third, we have this tech company, right? And imagery is a little on the darker or moodier side. Fonts are very basic. We can see in their logo, they have some geometric patterns in there. So my guess would be geometric, serious, and simple. So before you go and hire a graphic designer to build you out a logo and brand guide and everything else, make sure that you know and you identify who your business is and who you want to be so that your brand voice can be amplified through these branding elements.
Okay, so now we're moving on to learning how to identify your audience. And one of the best ways to do this is to create a customer persona. This is your ideal customer profile. It's who you think your number one customer is and the problem you're solving for them through your business. So to get a better idea of who that is, we want to brainstorm some details about your ideal customer's lifestyle, age group, education, income, career, interests, values, and behaviors. We want to get a clear picture of who you are focusing on, so be prepared to tweak your customer persona as you learn more about your customers. Of course, you can create more than one persona to cover the different types of customers that are frequently visiting your business as well. So in this example here, let's pretend that we're running a soap refill business and our first customer persona is Rachel the environmentalist. So since we're running a soap refill business, we know that we're competing with retail stores who are able to provide soap products at a lower price point. But the problem our business is really focused on solving is reducing plastic waste in our environment by offering an eco-friendly alternative to our customers. So we know that people who prioritize affordability over being eco-friendly would not consider our business. And that's okay, because we're focused on attracting people who do. In this case, our ideal customers are environmentalists like Rachel, who has disposable income, who values living sustainably, who has a very healthy and active lifestyle, and is willing to spend a little bit more money to help divert plastic from landfills in order to reduce our carbon footprint. And so since our company happens to share a lot of these values with Rachel, we know that she would be a great fit with us as our ideal customer. And as you can see, creating a customer persona really gives us a good idea of the kinds of customers we're looking to attract to our business. And this will also give you an easier time when creating content for social media to attract your ideal customers. Now let's take a look at our unique value proposition, or as I like to say, UVP, and understand what that is. So UVP is the value you promise to deliver your customers once they purchase. It's ultimately what makes your product unique and attractive to your ideal customers. So take Booster Juice, for example. They were a small business that started here in Alberta, and they promised to deliver an incredibly delicious, convenient, and nutritious product, perfectly suited for an active lifestyle. This is unique because compared to other fast food companies, Booster Juice is not only focusing on convenience and fast service, but also on nutrition and promoting a healthy lifestyle. You won't really see this focus at other fast food places like Orange Julius or McDonald's. And this is what makes Booster Juice different from those competitors. So another example here is AMA. They're a well-known insurance and registry company in Alberta, and they're a great example of a business with a clear UVP. We can see it right on their homepage where it says, "We help you protect the things that matter most." And without explicitly telling us what their services are, AMA does a great job of implying what they do by saying they're here to protect what matters most. And when we hear that, it gives us a peace of mind knowing that we can really rely on this company to take care of the things that matter and to make sure our families, homes, or vehicles are protected. And what sets them apart from other companies is that they're able to provide cross-Alberta coverage when your car breaks down anywhere in the province. That's what makes them stand out. So now we're going to learn a little bit more about a customer journey and ways to take your potential customers down the marketing funnel. This is what a marketing funnel looks like, and it describes your customer's journey from the initial stages when someone learns about your business, to building interest in what you have to offer, to desiring your product or services, all the way to the purchasing stage. So what does a customer journey or a marketing funnel look like, and how does it help us with content creation? How do we know what to post on social media in order to take our audience down the funnel and convert them into customers? This is a very common question that many of our clients have. And in this example here, we're going to pretend that we're a mortgage brokerage and our business goal is to get more clients to go with us for their mortgage. Now, different businesses will have different looking funnels, but at the end of the day, they all share the same goal of acquiring more customers. And to do this, we first need to really understand our customers' pain points and where their mind is at in their customer journey. So as a mortgage broker, let's say that our ideal customers are people who are thinking of buying their first home, right? So one pain point we can think of right off the bat is that maybe this person, whom we'll call Bob, dreams of owning a home, but his pain point is that he's not sure if it's the right time. So back on the business side of things, we need people like Bob to be aware that we exist. Since we know he's thinking of buying a home, there's a good chance he's going to do some research on housing related topics. This gives us the opportunity to help answer his questions by sharing articles or posts about topics we think he would be interested in engaging with. So if you looked on the right of this graphic, these are examples of articles that address the question of, should I rent or buy a house? 7 signs you're ready to buy a home, or even top 10 mistakes newlyweds make. And not owning a home could be one of these mistakes. You can see these examples at the top where the awareness phase is in the funnel stage. So now let's imagine that maybe time has passed and Bob has went from dreaming of owning a home to wanting to buy a home. And maybe he doesn't know what to look for in a mortgage. So during his consideration phase, we want to again be able to provide him answers to his questions and create content about, how to tell a good mortgage from a bad one, tips on how to save on a mortgage, or provide him a mortgage calculator to give him access to a useful tool that will help him get an idea of how much a mortgage will cost. And then finally, in our acquisition phase, maybe more weeks have passed and Bob has a property in mind that he would like to buy, but he doesn't know which mortgage brokerage to go with. So in order to acquire him as a customer, we can offer him incentives to help him make that decision to go with us. Maybe we're offering him, employee discount if he happens to be our employee, or if he's not, maybe we can offer him a free iPad upon signing.
Okay, so we're gonna start on the first stage of the marketing funnel, which is the awareness. Next slide, thanks. Okay, so awareness. This is when the consumer becomes aware of a category, a product, or your brand, and this is usually done through advertising. So there's two different advertising methods, which include new media methods and traditional media methods. So some new media methods, examples include SEOs, paid ads, digital networking events, cold emailing and messaging. And then some traditional examples of advertising your business can include newspaper ads, radio ads, using yellow pages, cold calling, in-person networking events, and finally attending trade shows.
So a great SEO booster is Google Business Profile. And I am a huge believer that it is the single best free thing that you can do for your business. It's super low effort, and it's one of those things that it really doesn't hurt to have. And you really only have to set it up once. So all you have to do is enter your business name. It'll verify that you're the owner, either by mail, text, or phone. Luck of the draw on which one it is for that. And then fill in as much information as humanly possible. I can't stress that enough. The more fields that you fill in, the more information Google has to serve to your customers. They're going to ask things like your industry, your phone number, website, opening hours, to list all your products and prices with photos, and you're going to want your logo up there, a description of your business, any social media channels that you have, and extra important for brick and mortar businesses, your address. This is how you add a location pin to Google Maps. So Google Business Profile allows you to also accept and respond to Google reviews. If there's a holiday coming up, they'll send you an email to make sure that your business hours are up to date. And because it's a Google product, huge SEO rank booster. Now you might be thinking, but Trina, what's SEO? So SEO is the process of improving your online presence to increase rank or visibility in search engines like Google. So based on the content and the quality of your website, search engines assign a ranking to each individual site on the internet. These rankings are based on a lot of things, but to simplify it, to try and think of it as explaining to Google what your website is about. We on the team here use a tool called SEObility. It's a free online SEO checker that you can use yourself that analyzes existing sites and gives you optimization tips. What I love about it is it gives you those actionable steps, explains how those actions are going to affect the ranking, and explains why they're important. The most common thing that we see when we run those checks are, number one, heading issues. So that's usually missing an H1 tag. That means heading number one. But headings indicate the hierarchy of importance in content to a search engine. So that's how they read a website, essentially. And it's a really common mistake that happens when small business owners are building or editing their own site, is that they're editing text and they'll choose a heading based solely on how it looks. So you make a new heading, set it to H1 and go, whoa, that's way too big. I don't need my heading to be that big. And rather than changing that, they'll just keep going down the list until they find a size that they like, whether that's H2, H3, H4. And while it looks fine to us as people, to the Google algorithms, it looks like our website isn't about any clear topic. So my recommendation would be, rather than changing that title down the list, go in and change the default sizing on your website for H1 so it fits more in line with your style. And if you can't figure that out, contact us because we can help you with that stuff. Second biggest thing that we see is usually a lack of backlinks. So simply put, backlinks are links from other websites back to yours. It shows Google that people are talking about you, and it lends credibility. So that might look like you being referenced in somebody else's blog, being featured in a news article, or even a collaboration with another business. Number 3 is a lack of meta description, basically, or poor meta descriptions. So if we pop back a slide here, on this Google search, we can see that this Yellow Page listings meta description is locate and compare Google repair garages in Disbury, Alberta, blah, blah, blah. It's that little blurb that comes up in a Google search, and we can see that each one of these pages has a meta description. And we want that description to be a super relevant, bite-sized piece of text explaining what's on that page. You want to keep these descriptions around 50 to 160 characters. Any longer than that, and as we can see, Google starts to cut them off with that ... And there's a bunch of other issues that we see too, like not having enough content on a page, not having alt attributes, poorly sized images, lots of other stuff. So when you head home, or I guess maybe you are at home, do a check and see where the site could be improved with that online checker tool there. I guess next we'll jump into paid online ads here. So there are 4 main sections that we think about when we talk about paid online advertising. Number 1, always social media, right? That's your Facebook ads, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn. You can reach a very specific target audience relatively cheaply and in a variety of different formats. So let's use Facebook as an example because it's the one you think of first. 2.5 billion people use Facebook a month. That's more than a third of the world's population. So you are guaranteed to be able to reach an audience regardless of what your business is on Facebook. And that's because of audience targeting. Facebook's targeting capabilities are unmatched by any other social network. And there are lots of different ad formats that you can use to reach these audiences. So we've got photo, we've got video, stories. You can have someone fill out a form, that's called a lead ad. You can send people to your website. You can include a call now button. There's tons of options. And because Facebook's parent company is Meta, they own other companies like Instagram, Messenger, WhatsApp. So you can publish all those ads to those platforms as well. Number 2 is our paid search. So paid search advertising allows you to target keywords for search engines like Google. For example, if I search for a product like best accounting software, the results at the top of Google are going to be for advertisers that have targeted the keyword or keywords, I guess, accounting software. You might have seen it where you Google a company. So let's say Nike, and the first result that comes up is an ad. And then the second result is the same website over again. That's because keywords fall in 2 categories. So we've got brand and non-brand. A brand keyword would just be your brand name. In this case, Nike. However, if Nike wasn't running ad or brand keyword ads, Adidas or some other competitor might target the keyword Nike and siphon web traffic. So remember, if you reach a particular size or if you have, maybe a nasty competitor, it's important to run both brand and non-brand ads to make sure that, your customers are getting to the right website. Number 3, we have sponsorships and collaborations. So this is when you pay for a creator's advertising services. You'll be able to leverage their audience and help spread your brand. Some examples of this include ad reads on a podcast, product placement with social media personalities, or maybe a client or membership or client/member showcase on social media or a blog. So that might be like Chamber of Commerce or I don't know, Business Link or the DEP website, and you don't even have to pay for those ones. And collaborations often feel like the most organic type of ad because they lend credibility to your product through someone else's recommendation. It's like an amped up word of mouth, basically. And fourth here, we've got display ads. Now, display ads can get a bad rep, especially when they're done incorrectly. Banner ads, sidebar ads, pop-ups, pre-roll video ads, you know the ones. They leverage user data and machine learning to target their audience, but they're particularly effective with reward video ads and apps. So what do I mean by that? Well, I'll be the first to admit I've done it. I have watched an ad to get more moves in Candy Crush. Oh well. Those ads, particularly for mobile games, are highly effective. Being advertised another mobile game while you're playing a mobile game is a no-brainer. Our little goldfish brains go, ooh, that looks fun. And before we know it, we're addicted to a whole new game. Yeah, so these are just a few examples. There's other types of online advertising out there, but it gets your brain thinking about some of the other possibilities that might be out there for your business.
Yay. So that wraps up the first stage of the marketing funnel. So Trina talked about online advertising, SEOs, and how important it is to have a Google business profile. So now we're going to move on to the second part of the marketing funnel, which is the desire and interest. So the second part is desire
Hi,
and interest.
Simona. I'm just going to interrupt you for a minute. Hello, all attendees. My name is Rebecca. I'm just working the back end of the webinar, and I apologize sincerely for the technical issues that we had. And for people who weren't here at the very beginning, if you have questions, you can pop them into the question and answer. It's a little Q&A chat bubble at the bottom of your screen, and we'll get that taken care of at the end of the session. And if you did miss any of it, we will be sending it out within the next 48 hours so that you can catch the information at the beginning of the webinar. Thank you so much, team, and thank you so much to all your attendees for your patience.
Yes, thank you. So we're going to start on the desire and interest, the second part of the marketing funnel. This is when our consumers become interested by learning about the brand's benefits and how the brand fits with their lifestyle. So this is when your customer develops a favorable attitude towards your business. They're interested, but they want to make sure the products are worth investing their money in. So they're going to be developing a desire for your business products by either attending events, posts on social media, email marketing, blog posts, and your website content. So first, let's talk about email marketing. Email marketing is a powerful tool that businesses can use to acquire, engage, and retain your customers. Whichever email technique you are using, it's critical you have a clean email list. To achieve a clean email list, clean out emails that are no longer in use and have an organized email list. So there are two types of email marketing techniques we can use to help build your customers' interest. So these are email newsletters and promotional emails, which I will go over in detail in the next few slides. So first, we will start with email newsletters. So email newsletters are the most common email technique used for our customers. This technique also educates potential customers about your products and services. This is beneficial to them as it is letting your potential customers know what your business has to offer. So what is a new newsletter email? A newsletter email is a recurring email sent to your subscribed contacts, and it can include business updates, announcements of your new services or products, upcoming events, or anything related to your business. So this can include articles, resources, and tips. So the goal for your email newsletters is to provide ongoing value while surfacing important industry topics that get your audience engaged and interested. Now we'll go on to the next. Thanks. So let's talk about promotional emails. So now that we covered newsletter emails, we can go over promotional emails, which are a great way to drive sales up and also update your customers and potential customers of your products and services. You can use these type of emails to engage and reward your subscribers. So for example, let's say your business is a children's clothing boutique, and you know the kids are going to be going back to school in September, and you decide you're going to have a sale for 2 weeks for, let's say, 20% off, and there's, you know, it's going to be online and you're going to have free shipping during that time. So I use this example because sending promotional emails at the right time for your business is vital. This is why we need to understand who our customers are. Having promotional emails can increase your customer revenue, and also products will sell as they will be notified about a promotion or a new product you are trying to promote. Now to Trina.
Awesome. So let's talk about social media. So when we're talking about social media, you're going to want to spend the most time on building the platform that your demographic is on. So like I talked about before, Facebook has the widest reach of any social media platform, with like 1/3 of the world's population logging in monthly. Facebook's great for building an audience and for interacting with customers. Instagram is great for publishing visually appealing content. So that's your photos and videos. It's also been rolling out new features like shopping to promote e-commerce stores and Reels in an attempt to compete with TikTok. Now, TikTok is a video sharing platform that has seen insane growth during the pandemic. It's grown 88% in the last year alone, and in comparison, Facebook grew 0.3%. It has a much younger demographic than most other platforms, and it sports the most time spent, with users being active for about an hour and a half a day. So if your demographic is young, this is definitely the place to be. LinkedIn's high ratio of professionals makes it a gold mine for business-focused advertising and is great for connecting and engaging with other business professionals. Pinterest allows you to search for visual content like recipes, fashion, do-it-yourself inspiration, and pin them to curated boards. Pinterest is an excellent platform for businesses to drive traffic to their website or blog based on those, based on that visual content. So similar to Instagram in the sense that you want things to be, pretty, but links stuff really easily back to your website. And then Twitter is great for interacting with other brands. So much like LinkedIn, it's great for business to business connection and engaging one-on-one with users that might be interested in what you have to offer.
Oh, Tamara, you're muted.
Sorry about that, guys. So after talking about the second part of our marketing funnel, we will move on to the third stage of the marketing funnel, which is action. Okay. So the action part of the marketing funnel is the third stage. This is when the consumer they form a purchase intention, they shop around, engages in trial, or they make a purchase. So some tools you can use to manage your customers' online shopping easier is having a payment system, or if you have let's say you have a salon and you need a booking system so your customers can book their appointments easier and you're saving time, or even having codes for customers to redeem an offer when they make a purchase online.
And your website is where all of that magic happens. So everything gets tied together on your website. The customer's decision is usually made here, so the site should include everything. You want all of the products or services that you sell. This usually looks like an online store or a services page. You want a blurb of some sort for your customer to learn more about who you are personally. This is usually your about page. And then you want links to your social media and a way for them to get in touch, usually found on the contact page. But those are just your basics. If you write blogs, if you have reviews that you want to share, if you host a podcast, if you've got any side projects going on, all of those other things should live here too. So think of this as your resume, right? This is where customers go when they want to research and learn more about you. So make sure that the information that they're looking for is there. Ensure they can press that buy button or book the appointment if that's what they're looking to do. And make sure it looks good. You want to be putting your best foot forward online. So most website builders have awesome templates that make sure that things look good on both desktop and mobile. Web traffic these days is split almost 50-50 with 49% on desktop, 47% on mobile. So we want to make sure that that site is optimized for both. If you're still doing that math, those other 4% of users are tablet users. So that's a little fun fact for you.
Awesome, Trina, thanks. So now that we covered the first three topics of the marketing funnel, which was awareness, desire and interest, and action. So now we were gonna be covering retention part of the marketing funnel. So the retention part of the funnel, it focuses on the consumer. The consumer remains engaged with your content and community and is likely to refer others to your business. So some examples of these are emails, reputation management, doing follow-up, phone calls, text, emails, mailers, postcards, and then having a referral program. So first, I want to talk about retention emails. So retention emails is a great way to engage your customers after the purchase. So retention emails are great for requesting feedback on your business's products and customer service. You can use this feedback to help improve or promote your business. This shows you care about your customers and their feedback. Sometimes feedback helps us improve our business to see what works and what doesn't. And a more modern approach to retention emails, as Trina, she mentioned, is having a Google business here. This is where your customers can leave a Google review, and like she said, you can accept it and have it out there for everyone else to look at. I personally use Google reviews, when I want to go purchase something.
Okay, so now if you're someone who wants to learn how to create effective strategies to improve your online traffic, or if you're someone who wants to develop the marketing skills needed to build a thriving business in this ever-changing digital world, or maybe you already know how to do all these things we mentioned, but would still like some guidance to see if you're on the right track to effectively grow your business, then we have some great programs for you to check out. So the Digital Economy Program was created through a partnership between BusinessLink and Digital Main Street, which aims to help small businesses in Alberta undergo digital transformations and adopt e-commerce practices to help your business not only survive, but thrive. So participating small businesses will learn to use and maintain digital tools that are essential to succeed in today's competitive environment. So the Digital Economy Program has two parts. So we have the Shop Here powered by Google program for small businesses who don't already have an e-commerce website set up and who don't know how to manage their online store. And if this sounds like you, then this is the program that would help you get your e-commerce website set up so you can be ready to sell online. Now, if you're already past this stage and maybe you already have a working website and you know how to manage your online storefront, but you don't know how to go about marketing your business to increase your traffic, or maybe you're struggling with using social media effectively, then the Digital Service Squad program is the right program for you. So we provide you an opportunity to learn how to improve your online presence and strategies that you can implement to gain more customers. And the best part about these two programs is that we actually provide you free one-on-one digital support. And the support from the Digital Service Squad, who we are a part of, is personalized and based on your business's unique needs. This might include training to help you feel more confident online, helping you to improve your presence on Google, optimizing social media posts, developing a marketing plan, or even just being another set of eyes to review the awesome work that you're already doing. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, you can sign up on our website at dep.businesslink.ca. And the link is right here for you. And then if anybody has any questions about the topics we covered, or further questions about the program and how you can access it as well, please let us know in the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen, and we'll be happy to answer to the best of our abilities.
Okay, there's some questions in here. So do you want to just get going and answer?
Yeah, do you want to pull some up?
So Valerie asks, will you be helping to build our digital online platform? Want to take it, Jenny?
That's a great question. So depending on what kind of platform you're looking for, like say if you were a coaching business and maybe you want to sell courses or do one-on-one coaching with your clients. So if you want to do like a course-based website like Kajabi, or do Squarespace where you can have your clients book appointments with you directly, we can do that for you, or guide you through that process. Just to manage expectations, we're more of a resource to kind of train you to learn how to build on these platforms yourself, just so long-term you can, whoops, that just disappeared.
Sorry.
That's okay. So just
And she has a
long-term,
coding.
you can learn how to manage that yourself. But if you are looking for more of an e-commerce solution where you want someone to help you build like maybe a Shopify website to sell products, and you're more of a product-based business, then that is our other partner program, the Shop Here powered by Google, and they can help you with that. Trina, do you want to take the next one?
Yeah, I'll just add a little bit. So Valerie, I know that you've just added here that you have a clothing line. So if you are looking for an online store, then we would probably refer you to the Shop Here program. But to, manage any other social media platforms or, allow you to gain confidence in building that well, not building, but managing that website later on, you can come to us for that kind of thing, and we can help you through that. Okay, what are the best platforms for business-to-business marketing and engagement in the construction industry? Mostly LinkedIn. I would probably say mostly LinkedIn. Twitter might be a good option for you. I recommend Facebook to everybody just because it has the largest reach. But since you're maybe not in the most prettiest industry in the world, right? Like if you've got great interior photos of finished projects and stuff like that, maybe an Instagram is a good option. But yeah, I would probably say LinkedIn is your best bet.
And I think that also, sorry, Trina. I think that also plays into, really understanding who your customers are and where they hang out, right? So if most of them are in business or most of your customers are in those kinds of more professional industries, then definitely LinkedIn would be a great platform to use to target those people.
Yeah. And this sort of like advice is always so specific too.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do want to just sign up for DEP and then we can walk through it together, right? We won't be able to answer every industry specific question today, but if you want to connect with us and then we can work one-on-one, that's always available. What else do we got here? Can you do an ad on Facebook and Instagram at the same time, or do you have to make the ad twice?
So you can use the Meta Business Suite that that Meta has rebranded from. It used to be Facebook Business Suite, right? But then we rebranded as Meta Business Suite. So it allows you to kind of link your Facebook and Instagram accounts. So you can just make one post and it'll post on both.
Do you think online payment and registration over website work better than other payment methods? It totally depends on the industry again. But I wouldn't necessarily, it might not work better, but it should be available, right? So if your customers are booking with you online, if they're doing other sorts of interactions with you online, you might as well have that payment option there for them as well. Even if it's just a way to bring more people in too, right? Like it's always so industry specific. Again, that's probably one of the questions where we'd need to dive in a little bit more and talk one-on-one. But if you have the capability to offer online payment, it doesn't hurt. Yeah, go for it. What advice do you have to build a referral program? I am in the hair care products industry. Jenny, you want to take that?
Referral program. So there are lots of examples for different types of referral programs, like try out the service and then refer a friend to get like a credit for like maybe $20 towards your next product or something like that. So it's however you want to kind of reward your customer for referring someone else in their network to your business. And that can look very different depending on, how you want to structure it. I would recommend trying out different ways just to see if your MVP for your referral program works, or you can always tweak it later. But that's a great way to start, is refer or have one customer refer someone else and then provide them an incentive to do so.
Yeah. Do businesses need to pay the website hosting fees, such as on Squarespace? Jenny or Timona, anybody who wants it?
Sure. Yeah, any website that you're gonna have to put some money in. I'm pretty sure. So there's like Squarespace, GoDaddy. You guys have any other? Wix?
Yeah, tons of web builders. If you're talking about specifically for the Shop Here program, they do have some partnerships with Square and Shopify. With Shopify, you get a 90-day free trial, which is an extension of their 30-day. So you get the hosting for a little bit longer for free, but you do still have to pay those hosting fees afterwards. The other option too, if you're building an online store specifically, is to go with Square. So Square charges per transaction on their web builder. So there's no hosting fees up front. It's just per transaction that there's a little bit more of a cut there. We offer alpaca experiences, feeding and education, and we invite campers in self-contained units like RVs or motorhomes. Which would be the best social media to attract more customers? So fun. Anybody else want to take that?
I know they have this Alberta tourism. If you've connected with them, they can get you on the map so people who they like to travel get on there. But yeah, I think you'd have to build like a website, but first make sure you get yourself on Google Business, because yeah, I think it'd be awesome to get yourself on the map.
Yeah.
Social media though.
For social media, I'd probably say Instagram, because you will have really cool visuals, right? Like if you do have people interacting with alpacas, everybody loves a cute animal, right? If you've got that sort of visual stuff, Instagram's going to be great. Definitely follow Timona's advice. Getting a Google business profile is going to be very important. Facebook is always, again, I recommend Facebook to everybody just because of the reach. But yeah, probably I would say Instagram might be number one for you. Jenny, anything to add?
Yeah, I think number 2 would be maybe TikTok, because it's about the experience, right? And the feeding and the education part as well for the alpacas. So I feel like, and TikTok's very like video based, and the algorithm is very good for reaching people who do like watching those kinds of animal or experience related videos.
Yeah. Oh, we've got some more information, guys. So they do have a Facebook page where they teach people about alpacas, and they're working on a Wix website as well. That's awesome. It sounds like you got, all of the things are starting to fall into place. If you do want help, reach out. We're here. What is the sweet spot for email newsletters? How often? Jenny, you want that one?
The sweet spot.
It's so dependent on industry.
Yeah, that depends on your analytics, I feel like. Just because you don't know how much, like once a week or even once every 2 weeks could be too little or too much, depending on who your customers are. And I think the best way to really get an idea of what the sweet spot is to look at your analytics and the open rate for your email, as well as the content, right? I don't think it's how often, it's also what kind of content are you sending out.
Yeah, if like it's engaging or anything. What I've seen a lot of business do for their emails, they actually do monthly newsletters. So they'll cover like, their achievements or their new products, what worked, what didn't. I wouldn't say do it like every day or every week, but yeah, definitely what Jenny said, every other week, or just making sure it's engaging to your viewers, so they're not going to unsubscribe.
Yeah, it's one of those quality over quantity situations, I think, too, right? But yeah, totally dependent on who your customer is. Monthly, yeah, so they've added a little bit. Makes sense, thank you. Monthly should be great, plus holidays. Yeah, whatever makes sense for you and your customers. And right, like once you start, it's not set in stone. You can change it, right? If you find that, weekly isn't working, well, try monthly or try, quarterly even. Totally depends on your audience, and nothing set in stone. Which platforms tailor to demographics of late 30s to 50s, senior leaders and executives, business owners, and organizations?
Yeah, that one I would say LinkedIn, right? Yeah, that's more business, senior and executive related topics and organizations. You can definitely reach more business owners on LinkedIn than you can on, say, Instagram or the other social media platforms we talked about.
Yeah, I would totally agree. I think LinkedIn would be number one. You can maybe try Twitter too, because there's a lot of like brand connection that happens on Twitter. Yeah, worth a shot. But again, if you want to connect, you let us know. You know where to find us now. Do you have any recommendations of some social media that could provide free posting / ads for charitable organizations? Free posting / ads. So maybe we just need a little more clarification on the question too. So are you looking for like free management software for social media? If so, then Meta Business Suite Planner is probably going to be your best bet. There are like Google ad grants. I'm definitely not an expert on that stuff either, but we can connect you with people who are. Yeah, if you wanted to explain that question a little bit more, or free promotion programs for charity. Yeah, probably Google ad grants then.
Yeah.
If you wanted to connect with us, we can definitely hook you up. It looks like Matt's taking care of it already, so I will let him work on that. Alpacas say we use our logo and info in our signature line and on emails. Awesome. Yeah, you're on the right track. That's great. Yeah, if there's anything else that you want to, your position with the company too should go in your emails. Yeah, that's great. Does the digital, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just going to read that question you were reading.
Okay. Does the digital economy program include going through a website that we already have and giving advice on how to improve it? Do you want to take that, Jenny?
Going through a website that we already have and giving advice on how to improve it. Absolutely. So what we do in our first meeting is we actually already have done an online audit of like your website, your online presence, your Google business profile, things like that, to just kind of see where your online presence is at and how your website is. And then we provide you kind of feedback on ways to go about improving it, whether that's your brand or SEO or, changing some buttons around, different things like that.
Yeah, so we just do a little internet creep on you before we meet. And yeah, and then anything that we find, we bring up in that first meeting. And then if there's anything you want to work on too, we'll we'll cover the things that we think should probably be addressed, and then any concerns that you might have as well.
Yeah, and just to specify, for the digital economy program, that's more digital service squad than the other program, the Shop Here program.
Is Shop Here Canada-wide? Because the page says only Ontario. I can send you, I'm sure somebody can drop the link for the Shop Here Alberta. It should still be available. I know that the Digital Main Street website is kind of funky that way sometimes too, but we will definitely have somebody pop that link in there for you. What else do we got in here? I do long document graphic design, like reports, manuals, and books. It's not a specialized form of, it's a specialized form of design. What's the best way to promote it? I'm not an illustrator, so using Insta and Facebook may not be effective. Well, so if you're compiling reports, books, and manuals, it sounds like you're probably doing business to business type stuff. So I mean, LinkedIn might be an option for you. Twitter might be an option for you. Yeah, that's something that we can dive into one-on-one as well. It sounds like a very niche market, and you'd need to know where exactly your customers are. Jenny, anything to add on that one? I'll just put you on the spot.
Because from what I've seen, Instagram actually surprisingly is a platform where many artists or illustrators post on as well, because it's very visual, right? So that kind of fits into the Instagram kind of ecosystem as well.
She says she's not an illustrator, but still you're doing design work, right? Yeah. I would give Instagram, definitely Facebook. But yeah, you can give Instagram a shot too. Like, I think this is one of those businesses that could be everywhere. And then it's just a matter of finding which platform works best for you and which you like engaging with. Yeah, but Barbara, if you want to connect one-on-one, you let us know, because that's an interesting one. All right, we got time for what? One last question here. Do we want to crank one more out? Is there a cap on the number of people that can enter the program? How long does the engagement last? So as of right now, I don't believe there's a cap. Our time together is roughly 5 to 10 hours, and we can span that over a long period of time, right? The program isn't slated to wrap up until the end of March 2023. So if you wanted to span those 10 hours until then, we can totally do that. It just depends on what you need and how you want to set it up. We're pretty flexible that way. Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for coming out and and listening to us talk. If you do have any questions, by all means, just go to dep.businesslink.ca and we'll be happy to give you a hand. Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good